About to pop up on you now. You can get it right quick and so. All right, we live. I'll get brothers and sisters to like and share the class. Let everybody know we live. We're getting started momentarily. All right. Shalom, shalom, Israel. If you're tuning in, you live with the Israelite School of UPK. Priest and Captain Soccer War holding down the class live here in Memphis, Tennessee. Tonight is a very special night in the nation of Israel, as it is the opening night of the Feast of Hanukkah. The Feast of Hanukkah is known as the Rededication. Right, you won't go here. Feast of Hanukkah is known as the Feast of the Dedication. It is a celebration of the children of Israel reestablishing our rulership in the land of Israel and rededicating the temple that Solomon built in honor of the Most High back to the Most High. So what we're going to cover in this first night is the reason why we celebrate, but we're going to also discuss the circumstances that surrounded us having the need for a feast such as this. All right. First things first, the Feast of Dedication is the feast that is held over the space of 8 days. So over the next 8 days, for at least an hour every night, I'll be going live and breaking down some aspect of why we should remember this day, remember this feast always, and celebrate it every year. All right. So every night is going to be a breakdown pertaining to a different aspect of our history and our culture as it relates to the Temple of Solomon and why it was such an important important symbol of our standing with the Most High. All right. Having said that, if any brothers and sisters have any questions, all you got to do is raise your hand in the class. If you have any questions online, all you got to do is raise your hand. All right. If nobody has any questions, we're going to go ahead and get right into it. Any questions in the room? All right. Any questions online? Give y'all a second to type them in. If not, what we're going to do is first we're going to go into the book of First Maccabees, the 4th chapter, starting with the 52nd verse. Well, no, before we do that, let's get Leviticus, the 23rd chapter, right? We want to start at Leviticus 23 because the earth just celebrated a couple days ago Thanksgiving, right? Thanksgiving for Israelites is a particularly evil, disgusting holiday because literally, historically, Thanksgiving is the celebration of our oppressor conquering our brothers, the North American Indians, and ruling over them in this land of North America, right? And if you study the history of Thanksgiving and you understand the cruelty and the torture and the genocide that was committed against our brothers, the tribe of Gad, it's unconscionable to believe that our people in 2021 would partake in our oppressor celebrating the murder and the rape and the genocide of a people, knowing that it is a fate that we've suffered and continue to suffer to this day. Right. So being in the truth, you see the evil of Thanksgiving, and a lot of you come into the truth and you stop celebrating these holidays and your family hates you for it. They say, how dare you not get together with the family, and how dare you not be thankful, and how dare you not have some of this turkey and this cranberry sauce? And you say, man, listen, I don't celebrate my oppressor murdering my people. I don't celebrate with the oppressor when he says to have a good meal and to be thankful. I'm thankful to the Most High every day. Well, in this book called the Bible, the Most High gave us holidays. He gave us feasts and times to gather and celebrate with one another that don't have anything to do with our oppressor murdering and raping and ruling over our people. You understand? So let's go to the book of Leviticus, the 23rd chapter, and see what is there for us to be able to learn. All right. I ain't going to read the whole book of Leviticus, the 23rd chapter. We're just going to start out at the beginning so we can get an understanding of what is contained in Leviticus 23. All right. Come on, y'all. You got it. You can read Leviticus 23 from verse 1 down to 4.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them concerning the feast of the Lord, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations. Even these are my feasts.
Everybody understands. The Most High established with the children of Israel that day his feast days, the days that he wanted to be celebrated, and the reasons why he wanted those things to be celebrated. You understand? In Leviticus 23rd chapter, you're not going to find Thanksgiving. In Leviticus 23, you're not going to find Christmas. You're not going to find New Year's, which is another evil holiday coming up. You won't find Halloween. You won't find Valentine's Day. You won't find July 4th, Independence Day. Everybody understands? You won't find your birthday in Leviticus 23. Everybody understands? The things that we should be celebrating are the things that God said we should be celebrating. And if the Lord didn't sanction it, we shouldn't have nothing to do with it. So tonight is the night that we celebrate because it does have something to do with the Lord. But hey, guess what? You're not going to find the Feast of Hanukkah in Leviticus 23 neither. All right, but we're going to go into the Bible and get further understanding of why the Feast of Hanukkah is important and why it is something that is sanctioned by the Most High. Everybody understands? First things first, let me get before we go into this in the scriptures, let me get this is important. Give me Matthew chapter 18, verse 18. Chapter verse 18 and 8. I mean Matthew 18 and 18. And Matthew 18 and 18 is important, and Leviticus 23, which I just pulled, is important because it goes to understanding the power that we have as brothers and sisters in this generation, and the power that we have as a nation of kings and priests under the Most High God. Everybody understands? There are things that we can do and that we can establish in the earth that the Lord will honor if we do them righteously and in his name. Everybody understands? And the evidence of that is right here in these scriptures, in this scripture that we're about to read. Come on, y'all, you got it.
Come on, son. The book of Matthew, chapter 18, verse 18. Verily I say unto you, whatsoever ye shall bind on earth shall be bound in heaven.
Whatever you bind in earth shall be bound in heaven. Keep reading.
Come. And whatsoever ye shall loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven.
And whatever ye shall loose on earth will be loosed in heaven. Everybody understands that. What is Christ saying here? That we have the power to establish things in the earth. And whatever the righteous men establish in the earth, it gets established in heaven. Everybody understands? That's what it means to bind something. To bind something means to lock it in, to lock it down. Whatever you lock down on earth, it'll be locked down in heaven. Everybody understands? Whatever you loose or whatever you release on earth, whatever you allow free on earth, it'll be allowed free in heaven. Everybody understands? That's what Christ was saying here. The Feast of Hanukkah is something that was bound in the earth generations ago. It's something that the righteous men of the generation we're about to read established to be done forever, and the Lord has honored it, which is why today it is something that has never been forgotten, and it's a tradition that we continue to this day. Come on, y'all. Just go, y'all. No sweat, no sweat. So I wanted to establish that. Leviticus 23 gives us the feast days of the Lord. Matthew 18, Christ established that what the righteous men bind in the earth will be bound in heaven. What they loose in the earth will be loosed in heaven. Everybody understands? All right, so we're going to go now to the book of First Maccabees, starting at chapter 4, verse 52. All right, now, for those of you Christians out there or people who may not be familiar with the Bible that's tuning in, if you have a King James Bible, which is what we use in the Israelite School of UPK, you may not see a First Maccabees. The reason for that is something called the Protestant Reformation. Right? It was a movement that took place during the time of the transatlantic slave trade by a group called the Puritans. There was a man named Martin Luther who established the Lutheran Church. Martin Luther is the one that was responsible for editing the 1611 King James Bible and taking out the books known as the Apocrypha. Everybody understands? The reason why the Apocrypha was taken out of the King James Bible is because the Apocrypha contained the history of the children of Israel during the time when they were conquered and oppressed by the Greeks and the Romans. Now you may ask yourself, why would Martin Luther care about this period in Israel's history being taken out of the Bible, because what the Greeks and the Romans did to the children of Israel to separate them from their culture, from their history, and from their God is exactly what the European did to the natives and the slaves that he brought into the Western Hemisphere. Everybody understand? You read the book of Maccabees, you read the books of First and Second Esdras, you will read a blueprint of oppression and separating a people from their culture. What you read in this Apocrypha is almost line for line, word for word, the process that the Europeans used in this generation to destroy us the way we are today. Martin Luther, during the time period of the transatlantic slave trade, what were they doing? They were Christianizing the natives here in America. They were Christianizing the people who they had brought into slavery, and they did not want those people connecting themselves to their God. Everybody understand? Now, what we're going to also cover during these next 8 days is it was known to the natives, the people who were indigenous of this land, that they were the children of Israel. It was known to them. The Most High was known to them. They kept a lot of the traditions and the culture of the Hebrews, which is why when the white man came over here and began to murder the natives, he had to wipe out and erase their history and make it seem like they didn't have any culture or any records, because the culture and the records that they maintained was the culture and the records of the Israelites. Everybody understand? And we have it today that there are books that were written where natives are quoted saying the white man came trying to give us a book that we already knew. They came trying to tell us about a God that we already knew about. They had some Christian religion and worshiping some man who died on the cross. We weren't worshiping no man, but we understood the brother who had made a sacrifice for our nation. A lot of what has been taught to us, the lies of Christianity, the generation that before those lies came into the earth had to be wiped out because that generation knew the truth. Everybody understand? And here we are again in this generation rediscovering the truth, refining the truth, reestablishing the truth, and it is dangerous to our oppressor because God forbid God's people find out who they are and begin to live the way God called them to live. Then guess what? The rest of the prophecies we read in this book are going to come to pass, and that is what our oppressor fears the most. Everybody understands? All right, so let's go ahead into the book of First Maccabees, chapter 4, verse 52. If you don't have a 1611 King James and you want to get an Apocrypha, contact me at the ISUPK Memphis page on Facebook or No Cowards Memphis on YouTube. And I'll be able to guide you and direct you towards being able to get one of these from the school. All right. If you want to get one and you don't have one, you want to go the easy route, go online to Amazon and order you a 1611 King James version of the Bible. Everybody understands? All right. So First Maccabees chapter 4, verse 52. Kamayala, you got it.
The book of First Maccabees chapter 4, verse 52. Now on 5 and 20th day of the 9th month, which is called the month of
Casliu.
In the 148th year, they rose up betimes in the morning.
Everybody understand? Now on the 5 and 20th day of the 9th month, what is that? The 25th day of the 9th month, which at that time was called the month Casliu, in the 148th year. That 148th year is the rule of a king. Everybody understand? Israelites didn't keep time like other nations kept time. Time has never been a big thing for us because the time is with the Most High. Everybody understand? So we never been big on years and birthdays. None of those things is a part of our culture. Everybody understand? So when you read the Bible, years are usually attributed to how long somebody's been ruling or how long somebody's been in power. Come on, Kabbalah.
So the 148 years, is that like a generation of the same person?
I would have to go back to when they established this date to find out who it's based, what the 148th year is based on.
Okay.
You understand? But you can go historically and find out in history when we rededicated the temple, the year and all of that.
Okay.
But according to our records, it was the 148th year, the 25th day of the 9th month. Everybody understands? All right. And if I could, it said that they rose up B times in the morning. Everybody understands? B times in the morning is like very early. B times is like before the sun come up. Everybody understands? It's like today we would say it's an ungodly hour, right? They rose up B times, like before time in the morning, early in the morning. All right, read on.
Verse 53. And offer sacrifice according to the law upon the new altar of burnt offerings, which they had made.
And they began to reestablish sacrifices to the Most High. They began to reestablish burning offerings to the Most High. Now, we've covered this in class before, right? What was the altar in the temple? What was the burning of sacrifices up to the Most High? What would it look like today? And understand this is a very, very simple generalization I'm making. But the altar was a giant grill. Everybody understands? The altar was it was built up with stones and giant rocks, and there was giant steel plates that was put on it. But they would sacrifice a dove or sacrifice a lamb or sacrifice a cow. They would divide the meat, and the burning of the burning was them putting it on the grill. Everybody understands? All right. So that's what the altar was. It was a giant grill. The smoke going up is the meat cooking. Smells going up into the sky, into the heavens, and the Lord loves my people is sacrificing to me. Everybody understands? But just so we can understand what we're reading about, just think of a giant grill. Everybody understands? Keep reading.
Verse 54. Look at what time and what day the heathen had profaned it, even in that which is decorated.
Just read it slow.
Even in that which is dedicated with songs and citherns and harps and cymbals. Verse 55. Then all the people fell upon their faces, worshiping and praising the God of heaven, who have given them good success. And so they kept the dedication of the altar 8 days, and offered burnt offerings with gladness, and sacrificed the sacrifice of deliverance and praise. They decked also the forefront of the temple with crowns of gold, and with shields, and the gates, and the chambers. Like in the chambers, they renewed and hanged doors upon them. 58. Thus was there very great gladness among the people, for that the reproach of the heathen was put away.
Everybody understands. So when they began these sacrifices, they said, man, look at the day. When they says in verse 54, when it says, look at what time and what day the heathen had profaned it, it's saying, man, remember the heathen took this place over, man. Remember the heathen had ruined this place, man. They had profaned it, meaning, what is it to profane something? Profanity is like something foul, something disgusting, right? But that's what the heathen in our temple was. It was profane. And how we would offer meat offerings, we would offer cow and lamb and doves, lawful things. The heathens was offering unlawful things. They was cooking pork up there. You understand? They was cooking shrimp and lobsters and crabs and every squirrel meat, rats. Heathens eat anything. They eat whatever. That's what they were offering, and it was a disgust to us. It was, foul to think that the thing that was made holy and for the Lord, heathens was in there celebrating and partying. Man, damn that. We took that place. We had to clean it up. They tore that old altar down, built a new one. And this new one they built up, they was like, man, look, just not too long ago, we was destroyed. And now look at the Most High that did, man. He done gave us our temple back. And they celebrated, man. They had a party. You understand? And I don't know about y'all, but I've been Israelite my whole life. We know how to party.
We do.
You understand? These brothers and sisters was in righteousness. And guess what they did? They partied for 8 days. The grill did not stop. The altar was going. The food was piping hot. The drinks was flowing. The music was jamming. They was jammed out for 8 days. You understand? Because that's Israelite. That's how we get down, especially when the Lord is with us. And the Lord was with these brothers and sisters. You understand? Not only did they celebrate, guess what they did? What was another thing Israelites like to do? Like to get fly. They decorate their temple out. They made their temple fly. They got it fresh. They new gold crowns. You understand? New shields hanging up everywhere. New curtains to cover the chambers. They did it big. You understand? Come on, y'all.
Like when they say the shield, will they talking about?
Okay. Yes. You know what I'm saying? It's meaning decorations. The shield was a decoration. You understand? Right. So yeah, they wasn't hanging metal. They wasn't hanging fighting shields. They was hanging the shield of David. They was hanging the symbol of our nation. Everybody understands, and that's what the Dawadah is today. The Dawadah, contrary to popular belief, it ain't something that we worship. It ain't like a Christian cross. It ain't something that is, oh, God is with me because I wear this. No, this is a representation that I am under the authority of the King of Israel. Everybody understands, and that's all it means. You understand? And it's King David's signature back when he was ruling, and anytime he sent someone in his name, you knew that somebody was coming in the authority of the king because they bore his shield. Everybody understands? All right. So yeah, they decorated the temple, man, made it look beautiful, and they did it big. They partied and had a good time. So over these next 8 days, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna party, we're gonna have a good time. Now, partying of Israelites ain't like the heathens raving. The Bible calls what the heathens do raging. You understand? They have orgies and they get drunk and don't remember what they did. They snort lines of cocaine and pop mollies and smoke all kind of abominable things and do nasty wickedness. Guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna eat good. We're gonna drink good. We're gonna play some music, and we're gonna be thankful that the Lord has blessed us, because in these times that we're living in, it is a very special and precious thing to be having this knowledge and this understanding, to be celebrating the feast of Hanukkah in 2021 with all of the poverty and all of the murder and the death that's around, and the Thanksgiving just went by. You know how many people died on Thanksgiving? You know how many families were broken up because some nigga couldn't buy a good Thanksgiving dinner? You understand? You know how many brothers' wives cheated on them while they was at the slavery because he wasn't home for Thanksgiving? This is an evil time of the year, man. This is an evil society we living in. And for us to be able to sit back and be thankful to the Most High all these years ago delivered our nation as we pray and prepare to be delivered again, it's a beautiful thing. Everybody understand? Most High Christ. Keep on reading. We're going to go back to in 1 Maccabees chapter 4, verse 59.
Verse 59. Moreover, Judas and his brethren with the whole congregation of Israel ordained that the days of the dedication of the altar should be kept in this season from year to year by the space of 8 days. For the 25th day of the month, Casliu, with mirth and gladness.
So here's the binding on earth. You understand? Judas and his brothers say, you know what, man? We're going to do this every year. Every year we're going to party for 8 days and remember the Lord giving us his temple back. They established that in all of Israel, we're going to never forget this time. And that's why we're doing it today. You understand? And it's beautiful how all of the Lord's high holy days are about our triumphs in righteousness. Every high holy day is about something righteous that we did and the Lord honored us for it. You understand? When you look at our oppressors' holidays, his holidays is about him celebrating and him triumphing. But what that got to do with you, black man? What that got to do with you, Latino man, Native Indian man? You a slave in this goddamn place. What you celebrating the white man's Independence Day when you was a slave in 1776? What the hell you celebrating Christmas for when that ain't got nothing to do with your culture, your people, or your history? You understand? Now, for those of you Christians who may be confused, Jesus Christ was not born on December 25th. You understand? The Christmas tree ain't got nothing to do with Jesus. It ain't got nothing to do with the wise men bringing presents when Christ was born. Christmas ain't got nothing to do with none of that. You should do your history. You should study and do some research and find out about the things that you've been given your whole life to be true, and you'll find out that it's a lie. Why? Because your oppressor in this place is the devil the Bible speaks of. The word devil just means liar. You understand? That whole idea you have of some red man under the ground with a pitchfork gonna poke you in the fire, that ain't true. But there is a red man above the earth with a badge and a nightstick that's gonna beat you over your head. He's gonna shoot you in the streets, and he'll go to court and be found not guilty. You understand? This place is hell. Why? Because we are not obeying our Father. We're not doing what the Most High told us to do. Everybody understands? But your religions and your celebrations of the things your oppressor has told you to celebrate, they go against God. And here we're going to do what God said to do and celebrate the things that God established for us to celebrate. Everybody understand? These brothers say, man, this party we did here for this dedication, we're going to do this every year. So every year on the 25th, on the 9th month, on the 25th day, we're going to start the party. And that's what we in tonight. You understand? Now, we in America, it's November 28th, but it's actually the 25th day of the 9th month, according to the Lord. Everybody understand? All right, keep reading.
Verse 60. At that time also they built up the Mount Zion with high walls and strong towers round about, lest the Gentiles should come and trade it down,
There you go.
as they had done before. And they set their
A garrison
to keep it, and fortified Ashura,
there you go,
to preserve it, that the people might have a defense against Idumea.
And who is Idumea in history? Idumea is the same race of people that are ruling in America today.
Right.
The Idumeans are the children of Esau, you understand, who have always been our enemies on the earth. Everybody understands. But now another part of this celebration was not only did we come together to celebrate and have a good time, but it was also a time of preparation. It was also a time of building up the defenses. And whether you all know it or not, these high holy days are definitely important for building up your spirit, for strengthening you and your resolve to go out in this evil world, but to stand righteous with the Lord. And we need these days to come together, to see one another, to know that, man, I'm not the only one that's struggling. I'm not the only one that's fighting. I'm not the only one that's on this righteous path. You understand? So every time we have these high holy days, don't forsake the coming together. You understand? We got a sister in the class tonight, first time being here. It's a pleasure and an honor to have you here, sister, and to be able to see you. You understand? Most High Christ. You understand? And this is why the Lord gave us these days. You understand? Because even when we don't have any reason, the Lord give us a reason to come together. He give us a reason to appreciate one another and a fellowship with one another. I hate that word. It's so Christian and nasty. But if you break it down, it's a nice word. You understand? You my fellow, and we in this thing together. It's a relationship. We family. You understand? And it's good to get together with your family. You understand? And fighting through these times where all the family getting together for evil reasons, we got a righteous, honorable reason to get together. You understand? So that's what we doing tonight. Everybody understand? All right, so that's it on the book of First Maccabees. Now, what I want to do is we're going to go into the book of Jeremiah, the 44th chapter. I'm going to read it for time's sake, but I want us to be able to understand the conditions that led up to us losing the temple. We're having a rededication celebration because the temple was lost. It was taken from us. You understand? And we had to fight back to regain that temple, which led to the rededication. But what I want us to understand is why we lost the temple in the first place. Everybody understand? And there was a prophecy concerning us losing this temple that was given by Jeremiah the prophet during the time that he lived prior to the invasion of the land of Israel by the Babylonians. All right. And if you read the book of Jeremiah, this prophet he lived through a very tumultuous time in our nation. And he was responsible for delivering very, very harsh words from the Lord to our people. And it took a great strength, and Jeremiah endured great turmoil to stand for the Lord and deliver that word, but it was necessary for him to do that job. Everybody understands? So as we remember the feast of the rededication, we must also remember the hard work of the prophet Jeremiah, and that's what we're going to go to tonight, all right? All right, so we're going to read Jeremiah chapter 44, start at verse 1. Now, if at any time as I'm going through this, if I read anything that you don't understand or you're unsure, please raise your hand. Everybody understand? If you don't raise your hand, I'm assuming we all understand what's being read, and I'm going to keep reading because it is a whole chapter. Everybody understands? But I'm going to go through it, all right? All right, this is Jeremiah chapter 44, verse 1. It says, the word that came to Jeremiah concerning all the Jews which dwell in the land of Egypt, which dwell at Migdol and at Taphanes and at Noph, and in the country Pathros, saying, now this word that the Lord gave to Jeremiah was specifically for the Jews or the Israelites living in Egypt, in Migdol, Taphanes, and Noph, and the country of Pathros, meaning what? These were Israelites that were not living in the land of Israel. These were Israelites that were scattered. Everybody understands? All right. And I specify that because Jeremiah was not in Jerusalem speaking at this time. He's speaking to these brothers and sisters who are living among these other nations. All right. Verse 2. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, ye have seen all the evil that I have brought upon Jerusalem and upon all the cities of Judah. And behold, this day they are a desolation, and no man dwells therein. Meaning what? This is after Jerusalem has been destroyed. This is after we've gone into captivity. Everybody understand? Verse 3, because of their wickedness which they have committed to provoke me to anger, and that they went to burn incense and to serve other gods whom they knew not, neither they, ye, nor your fathers. Now, what does it mean we were burning incense to other gods?
Submitting.
Raise your hand. Submitting. You on it. You're on it, but I want specifically, what is the burning incense part? Come on, y'all.
Like Thanksgiving, we cooking the food not like Thanksgiving, but like when we serve other gods, we doing the other holidays. It's not actually the holidays. It's like cooking.
Okay, let me ask you this: what God do you serve in Thanksgiving?
Our oppressor.
That's important. It's not Thanksgiving ain't about serving a God. It's about serving your oppressor. Specifically, burning incense to other gods is getting high. That's what burning incense to other gods is. Smoking weed, smoking cigarettes, smoking crack, smoking opium. That's burning incense to other gods. Sis.
But marijuana comes from the earth. So what makes marijuana a bad thing to ingest in the body system?
Well, just now you used the word ingest.
Well,
we ain't talking about ingesting. We're talking about smoking. Smoking is a sin and unlawful, and it comes from the worship of other gods. You do a history, study some history. Smoking has always been associated with worshiping other gods. And that the high you feel from smoking is not the high that you feel from ingesting. You understand? Marijuana is medicine, right? But I don't go and pop Advils if I don't have a headache. I don't go and drink cough syrup if I don't have a sore throat or a fever. Right. We're not ingesting marijuana because of the medical purposes. We're doing it to get high. And that high you feel has been a high that men and women have always felt through all generations. And that high is the worshiping of that God. And it's been hidden from us in this generation. But weed has always been a God. Smoking weed has always been worshiping another God. Come on with it.
So I'm sinning because I'm a smoker.
Smoking weed is a sin. You are a sinner. As with all sins, the demon of that sin has to be cast out. So, will you stop smoking overnight? Will you wake up tomorrow and never smoke again or never want to smoke again? No. You are going to have to fight and go to war and struggle and beg and plead with the Lord to help you overcome your addiction. Because that's what smoking is. Come on with it.
Last question.
Yes.
Being that it's not supposed to be, why would I have to beg and plead? Why not just ask and he grant me whatever it is that I'm asking for if it's wrong, and if I'm asking for forgiveness and to take this spirit away from me? Why would I have to?
Well, the begging and pleading part is me projecting.
Okay.
It may be easy for you like it was for me. When I heard what I just said to you, I stopped smoking. That's it. I can't smoke no more. When I heard about eating pork and eating shrimp, I used to have long dreadlocks. When I was told that was a sin, guess what? I cut them off the next day. Some things are easy to just let go. Hey, God said I can't do it, I can't do it. But there's other things you're gonna have to fight. You're gonna have to, it's gonna be hard. It might be impossible. You're gonna have to beg and cry and plead in private, just you and the Lord. Please, Father, help me. I don't want to do this anymore. So I was just projecting. It may not be smoking. It may be something else. I've begged and cried and pleaded with the Lord to free me from some things. You understand? So who knows what that may be for every individual brother and sister. But don't be ashamed of crying and pleading and begging the Lord to free you. You understand? Marijuana may be easy. Hey, I can't smoke no more. No more smoking. Or it may be that thing that you got to beg and plead and cry with the Lord to free you from. That's the only reason why I said it. All right. And also with everything in this school, you need some help, get some counsel. Yeah, listen, we got a program. You can get free of that marijuana. You can get free of whatever addiction you have if you seek counsel and if you're earnest in seeking the Lord and being free. Everybody understands? But specifically, burning incense to other gods is getting high. And we reading about getting high thousands of years ago. We was in the land of Israel, had our own had our own land. We in rulership, in power. And guess what we wanted to do? Niggas wanted to get high. You understand? Which just goes to show you, it's not a small thing to fight the urge of getting high. It's something that's always been around. You understand? And it's something that is still here today. Today, it's, and the world makes it like it's not a big deal. Snoop Doggy Dogg, get high, smoke a blunt, pass it around. That's worshiping other gods. And the Lord hated it then. He hates it now. Everybody understand? So let me keep reading. Let's read verse 3 one more time. Because of their wickedness which they have committed, to provoke me to anger, and that they went to burn incense, and to serve other gods, whom they knew not, neither they, ye, nor your fathers. Verse 4, howbeit I sent unto you all my servants the prophets, rising early and sending them, saying, oh, do not this abominable thing that I hate. The prophets of the Lord have always been saying, brother, put that blunt down. Put them cigarettes down. Well, that crack is, you know what the result of that is. Why would you even play in that? We've been saying it for generations, and brothers and sisters been ignoring it. Everybody understands. Verse 5, but they hearken not, nor incline their ear to turn from their wickedness, to burn no incense unto other gods. Wherefore my fury and mine anger was poured forth, and was kindled in the cities of Judah, and in the streets of Jerusalem, and they are wasted and desolate as at this day. Therefore now thus saith the Lord, the God of hosts, the God of Israel, wherefore commit ye this great evil against your souls, to cut off from you man and woman, child and suckling out of Judah, to leave you none to remain. In that ye provoke me unto wrath with your hand, with the works of your hands, the burning incense unto other gods in the land of Egypt, whither ye be gone to dwell, that ye might cut yourselves off, and that ye might be a curse and a reproach among all the nations of the earth. Verse 9, have ye forgotten the wickedness of your fathers, and the wickedness of the kings of Judah, and the wickedness of their wives, and your own wickedness, and the wickedness of your wives, which they have committed in the land of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem? They are not humbled even unto this day, neither have they feared nor walked in my law, nor in my statutes that I set before you and before your fathers. Therefore, thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, behold, I will set my face against you for evil, and to cut off all Judah. Verse 12, and I will take the remnant of Judah, that I have set their faces to go into the land of Egypt, to sojourn there, and they shall all be consumed and fall in the land of Egypt. They shall even be consumed by the sword and by the famine. They shall die, and from the least even unto the greatest, by the sword and by the famine, and they shall be an execration and an astonishment and a curse and a reproach. Everybody understand? This is anger from the Lord. This is, I'm fed up. I've had enough. I can't deal with y'all anymore. So you're just going to have to suffer the consequences. This is a father who's been holding off or beating for a long time, saying, get your ass in that room and take your clothes off, because now is the time for the punishment. And that's what happened to us as a nation. The Lord dealt with all the excuses and all the lies. He dealt with all of the, disrespect and all of the disobedience, until he just said, these niggas will never appreciate me. They'll never understand the gift that I gave them of choosing them as my people, because they'll never respect it. I just got to let them suffer the consequences of choosing the world over me. And this is what began the process of these other nations conquering us, enslaving us, and ruling over us. And here's what we had to learn the hard way. The Lord was trying to protect us by giving us laws against smoking. He was trying to protect us by giving us laws against eating pork and shrimp. He was trying to protect us by giving us laws against interracial dating. You understand? He was trying to protect us by giving us laws about not joining our culture to other nations' culture, because that leads to you being oppressed. We just didn't understand it. We just looked at it like, oh, this life is so restricting. Why can't I do this? I see everybody else is smoking. Why can't we smoke? I see everybody else got a king. Why can't we have a king? The Lord was trying to protect us. He knew what we needed, and he knew what worked, and he gave us the blueprint for what works. We continually decided to choose something different. Well, now in this time, after having suffered the things that we've suffered, maybe now we'll look and say, you know what? We should try things the Lord's way, because we've seen that every other way does not do us any good. Sis.
So why punish us as a whole? Why not punish those who go against the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Lord?
Let me ask you this. Did you grow up with brothers and sisters?
I did.
How many of y'all was it?
5.
That's okay. Did you ever all get spanked at one time?
No.
Okay. So you may not understand this, right? My mother and them, it was 7 of them, right? They all got beat at the same time.
Right.
Listen, I'm tell you why. Because my grandfather couldn't beat a child every day for something bad they did. He would wait and let all of them do something bad and decide at one time, oh, I'm gonna beat all of y'all for all the bad that all of y'all done. Instead of me having to give 5 spankings in a week, I'll just wait to the end of the week and give 1 spanking for all 7 of these badass kids who I done let slide and get away with what they did. And guess what? Every child knows as they getting spanked. I deserve it.
Yeah.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
As a nation, we deserve it. Yeah. Because which one of us can sit and look at our life and say, I ain't never did nothing wrong. Why would God want to punish me?
Right.
We got punished as a nation because we all were sinners. We all were wicked. You understand? We are not a nation where when you get high, I don't get high, but I'm fornicating and commit adultery. Nigga, I'm just as bad as you.
Right.
We ain't a nation where I can say you a faggot, you gay, you homosexual, but I'm buying prostitutes. We all the same. You understand? He sell drugs, he selling drugs, but I'm molesting children. Nigga, you all of y'all evil and disgusting and deserve this belt. So all of y'all get in here and get this beating. That's why we punished as a nation. Everybody understands. And understand this, sis. If we punished as a nation, then guess what? We'll be rewarded as a nation. So me knowing the Lord and keeping his laws ain't enough. I got to teach you. I got to teach her. The 4 of us in this room, we got to go find 4 more people. And them 4 got to go find 4. We got to get this whole nation together, because I can't walk into the kingdom of heaven and you die on crack. Yeah. You understand? We got to free all of our brothers and sisters from this bondage if we want to get out of this place, because we're getting out together. You understand? There's no such thing as 1 or 2 of us living in heaven. Mm-hmm. That don't exist. Right now, you got rich black people, right? They think that their life is so much better than ours. But I've watched in my lifetime, Michael Jackson died of a drug overdose. You understand? Prince died of a drug overdose. You understand? Whitney Houston died on a crack binge in a bathtub. I know people in my life who lived in the gutter with me that died that way. So what is the money getting you? Listen, sorry to say, we in the city of Memphis, Tennessee. Young Dolph just died in the hail of gunfire. Young Dolph was rich, man. Rapper, had money, had hoes, had everything that the man could think he wanted. He died like a nigga in the streets, man. Why? Because having money does not separate you from your people. Having money does not divide you from what God said is going to be your fate if you disobey him. So guess what? If we love the Whitney Houstons and the Michael Jacksons and the Princes and the Young Dolphs, then we got to teach them to obey God. And that's where we are. Everybody understand? All right. So let's go back to it. We in Jeremiah 44 and 13. For I will punish them that dwell in the land of Egypt. Where are we right now? We in the land of Egypt. We are in another land. We're not in our land of Jerusalem. We're not in our homeland. We are in the land of our oppressors. Everybody understands? The Lord said, I will punish them that dwell in the land of Egypt, as I have punished Jerusalem by the sword, by the famine, and by the pestilence. Everything that I just stated is what we just read. Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, Young Dolph, the crackhead next door. Do you understand? The brother down the block who can't pass a drug test because his piss is dirty. For the life of me, why won't you stop smoking for 2 weeks to get a job, nigga? That's them dying by the sword, by the famine, and by the pestilence. Everybody understands? Verse 14, so that none of the remnant of Judah, which are gone into the land of Egypt to sojourn there, shall escape or remain, that they should return into the land of Judah, to which they have a desire to return to dwell there. For none shall return, but such as shall escape. Meaning the Lord didn't want it to be said, yeah, nigga, I went and hid out in Egypt and now we back because we was smart. No, nigga, you ain't smart because you ran. You gonna die too. Because guess what? This is another thing black people got to understand. A lot of us, we live a horrible, evil, wicked life, right? We say to ourselves, man, I'm gonna move and go somewhere new. And I get to that new place, it ain't gonna be none of this drama, none of this BS. I'm gonna have a different life. Guess what happens when you move to that new place? It's the same BS all over again. Why? Because you are the reason why your life is the way it is. It ain't the location. You understand? Listen, I grew up in DC, and I used to hit. It's funny because I came to Memphis, right? And down here in Memphis, you got two kind of people in Memphis: people that love Memphis and people that hate Memphis and want to leave. And I say to the people that hate Memphis and want to leave, what you think gonna happen when you go to this new place? You think you're gonna leave Memphis and it's gonna be some magic nigga land where ain't drama and problems and hoes and niggas trying to rob you? Nigga, it's gonna be the same thing wherever you go, because the problem is you. You are the problem. We love to think it's something else. You know what makes us think it's everything else but us? Getting high.
Yeah.
Getting high make you think, see, them niggas, man. Them niggas, them motherfuckers, I can't stand them niggas. I hate, man. If I get away from them niggas, I'll be all right. You get away from them niggas and it be some new niggas. Because the nigga is you. You the nigga. It ain't the niggas, it's you. Wherever you go, it's going to be the same drama because you is the reason for the drama. That's the Bible. The Lord is saying, you niggas thought you was going to run to Egypt and escape? No, nigga. Whatever happened, whatever was going to happen to you in Jerusalem is going to happen to you in Egypt because you're disobedient, you're dishonorable, and you won't do what I say do. The Lord is the common denominator in our lives. He is the only way to get it right. Whatever's going wrong in your life, you have to look at yourself and say, what am I not doing right with God? What am I not doing? And a lot of us think that we live in wonderful. Why? Because we compare ourselves to that evil nigga next door. That nigga sell drugs and rob and shoot niggas. He might kill me, but I hit a blunt with him every once in a while, so we cool. But he evil nigga, man. He'll rob you, man. You better watch that nigga kill you. You think you better than that nigga when you and him the same nigga. Because you're both evil and disgusting. You understand? And what happens when you get cleaned up and when you get righteous? You don't look at that brother next door like he's a piece of shit. You know what you say? Man, if only he knew the truth. Being in the truth, I know some evil niggas, and I say to myself, man, if only that brother knew the truth. If he knew what I knew, he'd be a wonderful brother. But I don't look at him like, oh, yeah, he evil nigga. That's that nigga. That's the truth. Don't even allow you to have that spirit. Why? Because I was that nigga. And I got this knowledge now. I didn't do nothing special for this. What have I done besides be a dirty nigga? The Lord saw fit to have mercy on me. He saw fit to be patient with me and gave me time to get it right. I know brothers who died when I was young. And I say to myself, man, if the Lord had spared him, maybe he would be here with me. But he didn't have the time. The Lord didn't have the same mercy with him he had on me. And I'm thankful to the Lord for that mercy. So I live for those brothers today. You understand? And what being in the truth, it humbles you, man. You can't be in the truth and I'm better than these niggas. No, I ain't. I'm not. I don't know about y'all. I ain't better than these niggas, man. I'm just a brother the Lord gave a chance to hear the truth. Everybody understands. All right. Jeremiah 44:15. Then all the men which knew that their wives had burned incense unto other gods, and all the women that stood by, a great multitude, even all the people that dwelt in the land of Egypt and Pathros, answered Jeremiah, saying, so now Jeremiah went out and blazed on these people. He taught in the streets and told them, y'all niggas evil, you disgusting. You thought you was going to escape the punishment of Jerusalem, but God going to punish you here in Pathros. He going to punish you here in Egypt. And these are the things that people that heard Jeremiah said back to him as he went out on the street and spoke. Everybody understand? Verse 16, as for the word that thou hast spoken unto us, in the name of the Lord, we will not hearken unto thee. They said, Jeremiah, we trying to hear that shit, nigga. Shut up. Jeremiah, we hear you. We hear you.
Right.
We ain't trying to hear that.
Right.
Verse 17, but we will certainly do whatsoever thing goeth forth out of our own mouth, to burn incense unto the Queen of Heaven, and to pour out drink offerings unto her, as we have done, we and our fathers, our kings and our princes, in the cities of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem. For then we had plenty of victuals and were well and saw no evil. They said, Jeremiah, to hell what you talking about? We're going to do whatever the hell we want to do. We're going to keep getting high. We're going to keep pouring these drinks. We're going to keep partying and doing it big and getting money, because that's what we've been doing. Everybody understands? Just like you got big time celebrities and famous people, rich people in this generation, you had them back during the days of Jeremiah. And just like people today ain't trying to hear what we saying, oh, them niggas was not trying to hear what Jeremiah was saying. Try to tell a nigga who getting some money right now, brother, you got to stop that, man. God going to punish you. Nigga. You just hating, nigga. You broke ass nigga. You ain't getting no money. You should try to get some money out here. That nigga will tell you to your face that you ain't nothing. Your God is shit, and I'm getting money. And he'll go smoke a blunt in front, nigga. I'm about to this rapper weed, nigga, $1,000 an ounce, whatever goofy prices they paying. He'll smoke that weed in front of you, and well, he ain't gonna blow it in my face because he might lose his life, but he'll blow it the other way. And look at me and say something crazy to you. That's what they did to Jeremiah. You understand? People have never changed. Throughout all time, people have always been the same. The same way they're defiant and rebellious today, they've always been defiant and rebellious. And when Jeremiah spoke these words, they were defiant and rebellious. Verse 18. But since we left off to burn incense to the Queen of Heaven and to pour out drink offerings unto her, we have wanted all things and have been consumed by the sword and by the famine. And when we burned incense to the Queen of Heaven and poured out drink offerings unto her, did we make her cakes to worship her and pour out drink offerings unto her without our men? Verse 20, then Jeremiah said unto all the people, to the men and to the women and to all the people which had given him that answer, saying, the incense that ye burned in the cities of Jerusalem, in the cities of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem, ye, your fathers, your kings, your princes, and the people of the land, did not the Lord remember them, and came it not into mind, so that the Lord could no longer bear because of the evil of your doings and because of the abominations which ye have committed. Therefore is your land a desolation and an astonishment and a curse, without an inhabitant as at this day. So you're saying because of all the evil you did, man, the Lord punished us. Don't you see that the land destroyed and we ain't got nothing? That's the Lord that did that. Verse 23, because ye have burned incense and because ye have sinned against the Lord and have not obeyed the voice of the Lord, nor walked in his law, nor in his statutes, nor in his testimonies, therefore this evil has happened unto you. Everybody understands? Verse 24, moreover, Jeremiah said unto all the people and to all the women, hear the word of the Lord, all Judah that are in the land of Egypt. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, saying, ye and your wives have both spoken with your mouths and fulfilled with your hands, saying, we will surely perform our vows that we vow, to burn incense to the Queen of Heaven and to pour out drink offerings unto her. Ye will surely accomplish your vows and surely perform your vows. Therefore hear ye the word of the Lord, all Judah that dwell in the land of Egypt. Behold, I have sworn by my great name, saith the Lord, that my name shall no more be named in the mouth of any man of Judah in all the land of Egypt, saying, the Lord God liveth. What is the Lord saying here? Going forward, you niggas ain't never going to be able to praise me ever. Nothing in your life is ever going to be able for nothing is ever going to happen in your life where you can say, thank God. Lord said, your days of thanking God is over. From this day forth, it's going to be pain and hell and suffering, and you ain't going to be able to thank God. Now, the time we're living in now, right? People thank God all the time.
Yeah.
It's funny to me. I watch the world, people in the world, right? And real recently, Jay-Z got inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, right? And I watched as everybody, thanking Jay-Z and telling him how great he was, and he thanked God. And when he thanked God, it made me say to myself, who is he thanking? When we read in this Bible, we read about these laws and read about the God of the Bible and how he hates this evil society and he hates, selling drugs and worshiping other gods and smoking weed. He hates prostitution and he hates murdering and lying. Who is Jay-Z thanking for his success? Because it ain't the God of this Bible. The God of this Bible ain't got nothing to do with you selling a record. You got a contract, you thank God. Look at the rappers that rap about, popping mollies and having sex with our sisters and throwing them away and treating women like hoes and murdering black men. I listen to some of the music today and it sounds like a KKK member wrote it. Right. Chopping niggas' heads off and they make TikTok dances out of it. And I'm like, who is behind this? The God that they are worshiping is the God of their oppressor. You understand? And what is the God of their oppressor? The God of their oppressor is everything that goes against the God of the Bible. You understand? So when they're thanking God, they ain't thanking the Most High. Right. They're thanking their oppressor. You understand? I asked you about that Thanksgiving thing because really our people worship white people. And it's to the point that I don't even think we realize how much we worship white people. I listen to gangster rap, right? These gangsters talking about they in the mafia, they in the mob, and yeah, we It's a secret society. All we ask is trust. Well, who are you referencing when you saying all those things? You're referencing white people and their culture and how they live. You want to be a gangster? Well, where you did the idea of being a gangster from?
Come on.
Right.
It come from John Gotti. It come from the mafia families of the crackers in the Northeast and in the Midwest. You worshiping white people. Who gave you that record deal? A devil gave you that record deal. Why? So you could make music that poisons your people and destroys your community. You're thanking him for giving you a chance to be like him and not be a nigga.
Right.
You understand? We don't understand just how much we worship white people. You celebrate Christmas, that ain't got nothing to do with Jesus. It ain't got nothing to do with the Bible or no prayer. It got to do with white people celebrate Christmas, and I want to be like white people. How many of us grew up poor and knew our parents did not have the money for Christmas?
Right.
But they guess what? Our parents, they made a way to get us gifts. Why? So we could feel like white kids. Now I don't remember a black show with Christmas on the TV. Do y'all remember that? Give me a black Christmas show. I remember Charlie Brown.
Yeah.
I remember what was the snowman? Frosty. All of them was cracker cartoon.
Yeah.
I don't remember that one nigga in no cartoon. No one nigga doing no Christmas. That's what I wanted. I wanted to be like Charlie Brown and them. I want some Christmas, goddammit. Christmas is wanting to be like white people. And guess what? What if black people, we always said, man, I want to give my kids a better life than my parents gave me.
Right.
You want to know what you want to give your kids? A white life.
Come on.
You struggling to give your kids a white life. You selling drugs, nigga. You murdering in the streets to move your family out the hood so they can feel like white people. God, and guess what? How you think that make God feel? When white people's culture is the most evil, disgusting, nasty culture on the earth. White people is the mothers and fathers of homosexuality. The white man's culture in the days of the Greeks and the Romans was literally you train a boy to be a man by giving him a man to molest him from 7 years old until he becomes a man. That's their culture. We look at homosexuality like, yeah, man, that's gay, that's messed up. To white people, it's life. We look at Asian people right now, if you're born in China, I mean, if you got a man, you marry a woman in China, you get one baby. That's it. Your woman get pregnant, 4 months into it, you find out it's a girl. I don't want my one baby to be a girl. Guess what the Chinese do? Murder that baby. It ain't abortion to them. It ain't murder. It's, hey, B, you get one baby.
Right.
So what about the 5 that ain't the right sex? Chop them out, pull them out. That is just their way of life. That's how they do things. Sis.
Could it be because men were created to rule the world,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know, maybe female
Mm-hmm.
is not as important as the male.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean? Say that one more time. I'm sorry.
When you say they murder the children if they're not the right sex, could it be because the males were actually created to rule?
They don't think of it that deep. I see where your train of thought comes from, and that comes from that's a wise thought that you had, right? They don't have wisdom like that. They just think my son can make more babies. So they'd rather have a son to pass their money and their inheritance to than to have a daughter who's going to marry some man and now he gets it. You understand what I'm saying? It's a culture. It's a cultural thing, but it's not like women are less important than men. But for a lot of cultures, they'd rather a man be the one to carry the name than a woman because women get married off and the name gets lost. It really goes back to the Bible in that the seed goes through the man, right? But here's the beautiful thing about the Bible that a lot of people don't want to accept. A man can have more than one woman. And a man can have several legacies. That daughter gets one man. And she's stuck with him and everything she has goes to him. But that man can spread seed and flourish and raise up generations. That's the only difference between a man and a woman. But the Chinese, when they murder the daughters and keep the son, it's strictly just so they trust their son more than their daughter because their culture, Chinese culture, is very man-centered. Women are just something to walk over in their culture. That's not how it was in Israelite culture. You understand? In Israelite culture, women were to be protected. Women were to be watched after, to be, cared for, to be raised up properly so that they could live a very delicate and carefree life. So they could just be beautiful, bad, fine black women. That's our culture, but that's not the culture of these other nations. Come on, sis.
So is it wrong for me to feel more love for my boys than I do for my one girl?
It's not wrong. That's a mother-son dynamic. You think you feel more for your boys than your daughter when really your sons are in more danger. That's all that is. It's just your motherly instinct to protect. You protect your daughter just as much as you protect your sons. But in your mind, your sons are in more danger than your daughter.
I feel like they're more important.
That's how you're rationalizing it, is that they're more important. But really they're in more danger. They are just as important as your daughter, but I gotta watch out for these boys because they ain't got nobody watching out for them. My daughter could go get welfare. My daughter could go get, if she get pregnant, she go get child support. But my boy is gonna go to jail. He get a woman pregnant, he on child support. I gotta watch out for this boy because nobody watches out for black men. But your daughter, you feel like she'll be all right. Why? Because you was all right. So it's not that your sons are more important. It's in your mind, I gotta care for these boys. I gotta watch out for them because no one else will. And that is a result of being in a society where your oppressor is ruling. When really, you should come into the truth so that you can know that the protection you feel and hear is what your boys need. So that the protection that you have in here is what your daughter needs. And that's the greatest gift that you could ever give them, is to show them how to serve the Lord. You understand what I'm saying? Come on. Most High in Christ. That's a beautiful thing. Well, that's why she's straight then. She good. Your boys, you got to watch over them because they out there in the world, and the block is there and the streets is there, and these nasty hoes is out there too. So you every day worrying about your boys, praying for them. Oh God, please deliver my boy, because he might have a handsome son. He might be fly too, baby. I know they after him, God. Watch over that boy. He a good one. He handsome. He look like his daddy a little bit. Pray for him, Father. Watch out for that boy. I know my mother prayed for me. I'm my mother's only child. I know my mother praying for me.
Right.
Because I'm me. Goddamn. So that's all it is. So that's all it is. Come on with it.
I feel in the same way you're saying that it's more important for her to look after her son than her daughter, like you saying.
Yeah.
Because if you hear gunshots and your kids outside and you hear gunshots, you ain't gonna think it could be your daughter getting shot. You're gonna think that I'm gonna shoot my son getting shot. Police got somebody down, lay down on the ground. You're not gonna think that it's your daughter laid on the ground. You're gonna think it's your son. And to add on what you say the women got, they got 911. And we don't have 911. We can call it, but
it's different.
Gamble. When they come. You know what I'm saying? You might not be the caller, you might be the perpetrator. They treat you as such. Right.
And it might be the opposite for a father. Right. A father might feel like, I gotta love my baby girl. I gotta watch out my baby girl. Right. Why? Because as a father, I know niggas. Right. I'm a nigga. And I know my daughter beautiful, fine. She like a mama. Right. And me. I got to watch out for her. A lot of these fathers watch out for their daughter because the brothers know themselves. Right. And if it's any bit of me and her, I got to watch after this girl because she gonna be buck wild out here. So Lockie, if I ever had kids, if I have a girl, she's not going out my sight. What you doing? Where you at? Who you with? Why you doing that? Why you said that? Because I know me. I was a sneaky bad little kid. I'm gonna watch my daughter with. You understand? I'm gonna bust in the room. What you doing? Right. I'm gonna climb. I'm gonna have 2 bed. Lord alive, she live on the second floor. I'm gonna climb out the window and bust through the window. What you doing in there? Oh my God, Daddy, why you in the window? I'm watching, goddamn. What you doing in there? Because I know me. I know I was sneaky. I was smiling in your face. Yes. Listen, I was such an obedient, proper kid. You understand? Yes, mother. Yes, no, thank you, please, and all that good stuff. And as soon as I get outside, effing this and that, and all the curse words I could say, I was a bad kid. But you couldn't tell my mama that.
Right.
And how many people could go to somebody's mama and say, your son out there doing this, and your mama would be like, yeah, I know he ain't shit.
Right.
Every mama gonna be, now my boy,
Right.
now my son, now you got my son working. See, that's the problem now. You always talking shit about somebody's kid. My boy, I got a good boy. Whole time your son is the terror
Right.
in the neighborhood. That was me. I was the terror. But you go to my mama, now my boy, my son ain't doing none of that. Yes, mama, I was. But that's just how it is. The mother feels that watching over her son the same way a father feels that need to watch over his daughters. The father look at his sons like, shit, nigga, you gonna be all right?
Right.
I was all right. Hey, nigga, you be all right. Boy, you be like, you like me. You be all right. Toughen up. Your mama comes out, oh, baby, come here, baby, and hold that boy and make him feel love. But the daddy said, all that crying and shit. Go to your mama. But then when with the baby girl, the mama, what you crying for, girl? You always crying around here. Right. She go to the daddy and daddy, it's okay, baby. I got you. You okay. That's just the man-woman dynamic. Everybody understand? All right, everybody good? All right, let's keep going. Jeremiah chapter 44, verse 27. It says, behold, I will not watch over them for evil and not for good. And all, Salakia, let me say that one more time. Behold, I will watch over them for evil. The Lord saying, because y'all done chose this path and you chose to obey me and reject me, guess what? Then I'm going to watch over you for evil. I'm going to make sure everything horrible happens in your life. I'm going to make sure every evil comes your way. And not for good. And all the men of Judah that are in the land of Egypt shall be consumed by the sword and by the famine until there be an end of them. Yet a small number that escape the sword shall return out of the land of Egypt into the land of Judah, and all the remnant of Judah that are gone into the land of Egypt to sojourn there shall know whose words shall stand, mine or theirs. So understand this, the Lord did all of this to punish the rebellious spirit in our nation. Right. And there's a spirit in our nation that there's another way that we can do it. That there's another way that we can prosper and we can live, and it doesn't involve God. God is going to make sure that that spirit dies. And it dies tragically, and it dies horribly, and it lives miserably. Everybody understand? That's how God deals with rebellion. You want to live your life contrary to him? It's going to be a shitty, horrible life, and then you die. Only way to have a good life is to obey the Lord. I'm telling you right now, these people who you think are famous, these people who you think are getting money, they are crying themselves to sleep at night because they are full of depression, they're full of anxiety, they are bipolar, they're schizophrenic, because God is against them. And the only way to heal from any of those things is to obey God. Sis.
Like I said, in this particular point in time, was he only talking to Judah, or was it Israel and Judah?
At this time, when he spoke these words, he was speaking to Judah. Okay, but as we read them today, we're in that time again. And it's talking to all of us. Really, and this is how you have to understand the Bible and understand prophecy, right? The words are really being spoken to you. All the prophets' words have always been to whoever was hearing them, whoever read them. As I'm reading them today, he's talking to us in this room. He's talking to you online. God's speaking to you right now through these words that Jeremiah said back then. You understand? The reason why God said write these words down, because God knew another time would come. See, God don't repeat himself. Lord ain't about to, I'm not about to say this 1,000 times. He's a father. I say it one time. Jeremiah, write it down. Because I ain't saying it. Right. So later on, when niggas wonder why, go read what Jeremiah said. We right now, you want to know why Young Dolph got murdered? You want to know why Memphis is in shambles? You want to know why your neighborhood is so run down and brothers and sisters are dying and they addicted to drugs and there's so much poverty and nobody knows, how to figure a way out of it? Well, Jeremiah telling us right now. How do we get ourselves out of it? Jeremiah telling us right now. Turn and obey the Lord. Do what he said to do. And anybody who reads these words and says, well, Jeremiah said that all the way back then. Okay, no sweat. All right. I read this as the Lord talking to me right now. And what that does is it constantly keeps me humble and keeps me apologizing. Because I know even right now, I sit before y'all, Captain of 10,000 in the ISUPK. I need the Lord to have mercy on me. Because there's some things that I done did or may do that the Lord could kill me for. So I'm never ever gonna be, I'm good, I'm in there. Y'all need to do, but nah, that ain't the spirit that's in this place. The spirit in this place is we pray. We seek the Lord. We need to repent because it's all of us.
Yeah.
How do I know? We ain't in no kingdom yet.
That's right.
You know, the day I get to relax and the day I get to exhale and just, I can't never do that. I don't have that breath in me yet. That I pretended just now. I ain't really let no air out. I don't even know what that feels like. That ain't even a reality. I'm just practicing. I can't do that until the kingdom gets here. And I know in my mind, in my heart of hearts, there's a chance that day will come and I gotta watch niggas fly away in the chariot. I could still be here left behind just watching like that. I could have did better. Like that. That's an honest feeling that we all got. Well, I pray one day I won't feel that way. I pray one day I can say inside myself, I'm in there. I ain't gonna say it. I'll say in here, man. We pray we in there. But inside, I'm like, man, I'm in there. I'm telling you right now, I don't know. I ain't there yet. I want to get there. I want to one day feel like, nigga, I'm in there. I'm in the chariot. I'm one of the 144. I might be the nigga sweeping the door. I might be the nigga holding the door while y'all walk in. But even then, I'll be like, yeah, nigga, you go on the door. On the door. Niggas might walk by me like, ain't that soccer wall? Yeah, that's him. He made it. You know what I'm saying? I might make it as the nigga holding the door. But I'll be in there. I might be the nigga sweeping the floor. Might be, you know what I'm saying? General on deck, and I just stand up and niggas walk through. I get this peek in your house shot, and I got to go back sweeping. But I go home at the end of the day like, yeah, baby, I seen he came to the door today.
Right.
You understand? Then Lord allow, even though I'm the sweeping nigga, I go to my other wife and say, baby, I seen him today. I tell all three of their asses, baby, I seen him today. You understand? Who knows? Everybody understand? All right. Reading on Jeremiah 44 and 29. And this shall be a sign unto you, saith the Lord, that I will punish you in this place, that ye may know that my words shall surely stand against you for evil. Thus saith the Lord, behold, I will give Pharaoh Hophra, king of Egypt, into the hand of his enemies, and into the hand of them that seek his life, as I gave Zedekiah, king of Judah, into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, his enemy, and that sought his life. Everybody understand? So this was after Jerusalem fell, after Nebuchadnezzar had taken us into captivity. Those who had fled into Egypt thought, we escaped, man. We got out of there, man. I told y'all we should have left. Them niggas was going to fall. Jeremiah was sent to them to say, oh, nah, niggas, you ain't escaped nothing. The Lord wants to punish you so bad that these Egyptians got to go into slavery now. And understand that the Father has power to put in charge whoever the hell he wants to be in charge. As you sit here on the earth and you see the evil that's happening in this society, know that God is allowing it. Why? Because you won't stop smoking weed. Because you won't stop celebrating Christmas. Because you won't stop doing the evil that goes against his word. Right. If you think what's happening in this world is disgusting and evil and you want it to stop, then you should obey God. Everybody understand? I'm gonna read chapter 45 to establish the prophet Baruch, right? Because it's important as we go through these, we understand how the Bible works. The same way we have a school today where I'm teaching classes and brothers are learning and sisters are learning, it's always been that way. Prophets were never, I'm a prophet today. I'm a prophet. God chose me, spoke to me in my head. I'm going to come speak words of wisdom. That's not how God dealt with it any time in the earth. There's always been men teaching men how to understand God, how to serve God. The Bible is not a book you pick up and read and now you know God. Right. The Bible is like a brain surgeon's manual. Now, I ain't never took a medical class in my day, never been to medical school, never studied anything about the body. I don't care how many times I read this brain surgeon book back to forward, I should not perform surgery on nobody's brain. Right. Well, the Bible is the same way. You want to serve God? You want to be a righteous man or woman? You can't pick the Bible up and read it and now you certified to know God and to speak for God. You have to be taught and trained. You got to go through an apprenticeship in medical school. 7 years you in medical school. 4 of those years you were in your residency, which means you're practicing to be a doctor. Which means, what are you doing for 4 years? You following other doctors, watching them do stuff, and they telling you well, this is what I do, and then I do this, and then I do that. And you're learning. And after 4 years and some times of practice and being corrected, and you take a test, then now you're certified. Now you're official. Now you're licensed to practice medicine.
Right.
You understand? Well, being a man and sister, being a man or woman of God is the same way. You're not going to pick up this Bible and magically you're righteous. You're not going to come in these classes for 3 months and magically all your problems, you're perfect now. That's not how God works. It's a dedication. It's a marathon. It ain't a sprint. Don't happen overnight. Everybody understands? So there are things that are in that you've been struggling with now. You're going to struggle with them for 10 years, but if you continue to fight, you'll overcome them, and that is what faith is. Faith is, I'm going to keep trying, keep fighting, so that one day I'll overcome. But do not be discouraged because you didn't overcome tomorrow. Right. Everybody understands? You pick yourself up, you acknowledge you're wrong, you repent, ask to pray, beg the Lord to forgive you and to be with you, and then you seek some counsel on how to not make that mistake again. And that's how this works. Everybody understands? Sis, you had your hand up?
I did. And being a prophet is not that's God chosen, right? That's not something that you go to school for.
Yes.
To learn how to
prophesy. Yeah, you can learn it. Because the words come from God. Even right now, sitting in this seat, I'm reading God's word. I didn't make none of this up. This ain't me. This is the Lord speaking. And every brother who sat in this seat understands that. Now, you never sit in this seat, right?
Of course.
But there may be people in your life who you talk to, who you say, listen, baby, please don't do this thing. God don't want that for you. He wants you to, and in that moment, you'll realize this ain't me. This is God speaking. Right. This ain't your mama talking, baby. This ain't just, you might talk to a sister. This ain't sister so-and-so. You know me, I ain't perfect. But trust me, baby, the Lord wants you to do this and do that. The Most High is looking for vessels. He's just looking for people who he can work through. He can't work through a crackhead. He can't work through a drug addict. He can't work through, someone who doesn't work for him. When we work for the Lord, we open ourselves up to him using us to help other people. And that works the same way as the false god. When you get high, the god of weed uses you to get other people high. When you're a pervert, you're a nasty bastard. You just like, nasty sex in public. That demon will use you to get another broad to like nasty sex in public. You'll find a woman who's a good girl, raised a good girl. She's wholesome, and you'll get her to have sex in the movie theater. Well, how did that happen? The demon of nasty sex in public got you to convince her to do nastiness in public. Now y'all just nasty in the movie theater. Brothers and sisters, don't have sex in the movie theater.
Right.
Go home. Go home.
Right.
Get a hotel room. Throw some tents on your car. And park the car in an inconspicuous place where the rocket won't alarm anybody. That ain't law. That ain't biblical, but that's just my sidebar. That's just, don't be nasty in public. It's not dignified. But the same way doing evil, you'll be so full of that spirit, you'll spread it to other people. Serving the Lord, do the same thing. Right. You serve the Most High, it'll open you up to be able to teach other people and convince other people to serve the Most High. Right. Everybody understands? That's how the spiritual world works with us. The spiritual world is it's both ways. You can choose to serve the Lord and be an influence to other people to serve the Lord, or you can choose to serve something else, and you'll be an influence to other people to serve that thing. I'll tell you this from experience. It's a lot easier to convince people to serve evil than it is to convince people to serve righteousness. And that's what you got to understand, is that it ain't you. In the world, I thought people would follow me. I came to the truth. Niggas is like, yeah, nigga, you weird. Yeah. Weird, nigga. I ain't been weird ever in my life. What the fuck you talking about? I'm cool ass brother so. That when I came into the truth, it was niggas never whispered around me. Because I was the cat that you feel free to talk about around me. Right. I came into the truth. I see niggas whispering and shit. The fuck y'all whispering about? Excuse my language. What y'all whispering about? I didn't never see niggas whisper before in my life. But you coming to the truth, it's like, nah, nigga, you ain't the same. You not. And then you learn it wasn't even me. Wasn't even about me. It was about that spirit that was on me. It was about that demon that I was serving. Right. They was comfortable around me because I had the same demon they had. Right. Now that I'm serving the Lord, it's the spirit in them ain't comfortable. My spirit ain't familiar. It's like, this nigga definitely weird. I wasn't weird when I was getting the high, when I was bringing hoes around, when I was planning on robbing niggas. But now that I'm like, nah, man, I don't get high no more. Nah, I don't hold my sisters out, man. And you don't rob that nigga, man. You go get some money like he getting money. It's like, this nigga weird. He different. Right. That's your spirit change. Come on, Kamayala.
It's like you different when you stop following the multitude to do the evil.
Come.
So that's basically what it is.
Come. You know what I'm saying? When you stop following the multitude to do evil, now you stand out.
Right.
Now you stand out. Now you something different.
Now you're holy.
You holy. You right. You understand? That's you what the Bible calls you to be.
Right.
You holy. But a lot of us don't realize that. Right. We listen, when I came into the truth, I didn't realize, it's righteousness about 3 years. I just thought niggas, I thought that I was finding out that people really didn't mess with me. Like I looked at it like these niggas been faking the whole time. They never liked me. They never cared about me. When really these niggas really, I was they man. I've had niggas who now that I've stuck with the truth, I've had partners from the past come back around in my life and like, man, I ain't gonna lie, man. You know what I'm saying? When you first got on that shit, I was like, man, this nigga weird, bro. Like he on some different shit. But I felt like I lost my man. Like you was my man and you just changed up. I didn't see it that way. Right. I felt like these niggas never cared for me. These niggas never loved me. Right. When that ain't true. These your niggas, they love you. You just on some different shit. Right. And I didn't realize that different shit was righteousness. Mm-hmm. It took years before I realized, you just couldn't get like me. It wasn't that I was a bad guy. It was you realize that I can't never live up to this nigga. I can't never do what he doing. So I can't be around it because it make me feel small. Right. What you don't realize is the people in the world that don't want to be around you, being around you makes them feel nasty. Being around you makes them feel like guilty. Oh yeah. Being around you convicts them because this nigga changed. Right. This nigga actually different. I tried to get him to get high. Listen, am I saying anything we don't get? When you come into the truth, the closest people around you are gonna try to get you to sin. Because they don't believe it. Like, nigga, you don't get no hoes no more, nigga, man. I got 2 bitches right now. And I'm like, nah, man, I'm straight. You gonna turn it down? Nah, I'm not messing with them hoes. And it took about 2 more offers before he realized, like, then they make it into a joke. Right. Nah, he don't even like vagina no more. Nah, nigga, I love some vagina. And that nasty, funky for the streets vagina. I like vagina. That's for me. Goddamn it. That's and they don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? You turn down some weed a couple times, and now it's he don't even smoke no more. He old goody good lungs over here. Yeah, nigga, I want to breathe. The fuck? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't smoke no more. And then they don't offer it no more. You know what I'm saying? But they stop being around you because you changing makes them see that they not built from what you built of. They not cut from what you cut from. They don't realize that you ain't doing nothing special. Just the Lord opens your eyes. But you feel like these niggas don't even care about it. They don't even F with me. And you should feel that way. Right. And you should take some time away from them because they don't. And then later on, when they realize that this is serious and you really changed, maybe y'all could reconnect. Maybe y'all could salvage a relationship. But until they come around, get away from them. Be around me. Come hang with me and be righteous. Don't hang with them, sis.
My situation was pretty much almost the same as yours, as far as they started looking at me as being weird.
Come.
Being the queen of the biggest nation on this God's green earth, which is the disciple nation.
Come.
Once I pulled away from that, say, okay, the folks was like, okay, you're a part of that right now. Okay, well, once we see what's going on with that, then we just may follow you. So I pretty much somewhat put myself in Esther position. You know what I'm saying? And now that when I share these videos and I let them know that whatever it was that you was about in the very beginning, it was all about that nation walking somewhat like Christ until the white man drugs hit the streets of our community. That's when it turned evil. So once they saw that getting to the root of the problem, then they was willing to follow. So they just said, pretty much, Queen, you go see what it's all about, and if it's all good, then we'll follow you.
Well, let me, and I thank you for sharing that. Just let me let everybody know, right? This sister that's in the class today is a sister that has been a part of the Gangster Disciples for many years of her life. Black disciples, the Black disciples, right? Now, today, they've become known as a gang, popular gang, right? Especially here in the city of Memphis. People see me all the time with this shit, and they say, "What's up, folk?" I'm like, "Nigga, I'm not the folk." You know what I'm saying? But and I don't get mad at them because they don't know no better. But
that's right.
Folk don't really represent how we represent the UPK, right? And I have to get what it does is it provides me an opportunity to educate a brother about this shield and what it represents and how it's about something righteous, right? But this sister's experience has allowed her to be able to be in a position where she can really show a lot of those brothers who dedicated themselves to something that they thought was honorable and righteous but went sour, that it's never too late for you to change. It's never too late for you to get back on that path that you thought you was getting on when you joined the Black disciples. These brothers is actually disciples. And these brothers is actually doing what the Lord said to do. These brothers actually have the solutions for our people. And I want you to know, sis, that you should be commended for that. Because I know, get a sister hand. You understand? Because I know that it wasn't easy for you to make the decision to put yourself on the forefront to have to deal with what you've dealt with coming into the truth. But I want you to know, sis, that you got to keep fighting and you got to keep pushing. And because of the position that you've had in that organization and because of the people who recognize you, if you stand with the Lord and you focus and you fight, a lot of brothers and sisters are going to one day tell you, sis, if it wasn't for you, I would have never found the truth. I would have never found about these brothers. And so I want to urge you to continue to fight. But for all of us, just like people watching this sister, people watching you. You watching online, there are people in your life that they watching you and how you move. And they want to see, they're watching good or bad what happens in your life. If the Lord is giving you the opportunity to learn the truth, change your life for the Lord, and you may win those brothers and sisters into the truth. And even if you don't win them into the truth, they'll never be able to say that God never showed them or gave them a sign or showed them somebody who did it, because they'll always be able to remember sister so-and-so. Everybody understand? So that was it on that. But the water for sharing that, sister. And I want you to know that keep fighting, keep pushing. It ain't easy, but guess what? We all fighting, we all pushing, and together it's a lot easier than doing it on our own. Everybody understands that? All right, so a couple more scriptures, and we're going to get to this food, we're going to get to these drinks, and I'll see y'all again tomorrow because we're going to go live throughout the week. This is Jeremiah 45, all right? It says, the word that Jeremiah the prophet spake unto Baruch, the son of Neriah, when he had written these words in a book at the mouth of Jeremiah in the 4th year of Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, king of Judah, saying. Now, I want y'all to understand that Jeremiah was a prophet of the Lord, and the Lord would speak to Jeremiah, and Jeremiah would speak to the people. There were men who sat at the feet of Jeremiah and learned from him. Baruch was one of those men. When we're reading the book of Jeremiah, we're reading what Baruch wrote down. Jeremiah did not write the things that he spoke. Jeremiah didn't write the places he went and the things he did. Baruch kept a record of it. Everybody understands? And it's important because today, when we go out on the street to speak, there's a brother who keeps record of us going out there to speak. There's a brother who records who went to camp, how many men there were. Right now, I give a report. Pretty soon, I'm going to assign that responsibility to Kamaya Allah. He's going to keep the camp reports. And in that report is who was there, what was spoken, was there any issues or problems, was there did somebody come and try to battle, Well, the same way we keep records today, the scribes today, Baruch, before he was a prophet, he was a scribe to Jeremiah. Everybody understand? Having understood that, let's continue reading. Jeremiah 45, verse 2. Thus saith the Lord, the God of Israel, unto thee, Baruch. So before the Lord spoke to Baruch, he spoke through Jeremiah.
Right.
This is a word that the Lord gave to Jeremiah to give to Baruch. Verse 3. It's like, come on with it.
So it's like Moses and Aaron.
Yes. It's like me and you.
Okay.
So right now today in the Memphis school of the ISUPK,
Right.
I'm the camp leader.
Right.
Well, orders come down and I tell Kamayala, this is what we're going to do.
Right.
The Lord will give me an idea to do something that I think will help grow the school. And who I call, hey, Kamayala, I got an idea.
Right.
That's this. But, okay, Jeremiah, it wasn't an idea. I don't know if it's an idea in that unless it worked.
Right.
If it worked, then it was the Lord. If it don't work, yeah, nigga, I was just trying to get popular. If it worked, it was the Lord. If it don't work, yeah, B, that was me. Salakia. I'm just saying, keeping it real. If it worked, it was me. I mean, if it worked, it was the Lord. If it don't work, yeah, that was me. I was Salakia. We just go act like that never even happened. We forget about it. But it's real. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how it works. This is Jeremiah speaking to Baruch from the Lord. Baruch, this is what the Lord told me to tell you. And I say that, I can laugh about that because for many years I was in Kamayada's seat. Brothers telling me, hey, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and we're going to make this happen. And we go to make it happen, it don't happen. It's like, yeah, scratch that. This is what we're going to do. And then it work. When it works, it's like, the Lord, man, the Lord was with us on that. And Most High in Christ. We forget about, there's no such thing as failure.
Right.
If it don't work, the Lord wasn't with it. So that's the beautiful thing about it is, ain't no crying over spilled milk. It ain't worked. It wasn't the Lord. If it worked, I can't, because I don't take no credit for the ideas I get. It's the Lord that gave me that idea. And I got a couple ideas that I think might work. If they fail, it'd be Salaki. That was on me. If it worked, the Lord did it. That's life. When you righteous, that's life. You know what I'm saying? If it worked, the Lord did it. That's what happened. This is Jeremiah and Baruch. All right. So this is what Jeremiah told the Baruch. This is Jeremiah 45 and 3. Thou didst say, woe is me now, for the Lord have added grief to my sorrow. I fainted in my sighing, and I found no rest. But this is Jeremiah speaking to Baruch. Why? Because this is Baruch said this. Baruch said, woe is me now, for the Lord has added to my sorrow. I fainted in my sighing, and I find no rest. This is Baruch in the truth, and he's going through it. He in the truth, and man, I'm sad all the time. I'm crying. People dying, and horrible things is happening. What's going on?
Right.
That's Baruch is going through that. Jeremiah is consoling him. It's going to be all right. Lord, this and that. This is Jeremiah consoling Baruch over him feeling bad or feeling sad being in the truth. Verse 4. Thou shalt say unto him, the Lord saith thus, behold, that which I have built will I break down, and that which I have planted I will pluck up, even this whole land. And seest thou great things for thyself? Seek them not, for behold, I will bring evil upon all flesh, saith the Lord. But thy life will I give unto thee for a prey in all places whither thou goest. Jeremiah helped Baruch by saying, nigga, you feeling sad? The Lord is destroying this place. The Lord said he will pluck up what he planted. He will break down what he built. But he gonna spare your life, Baruch. All you gotta listen, just serve the Lord. Just serve the Lord and let that be your focus. There, all them hopes and dreams and what you wanted in your life, that ain't in the Lord's plans for you. We live in a time where the Lord destroying. Just be thankful he gonna spare your life. That's what Jeremiah's words to Baruch. It wasn't everything gonna be all right, brother. Everything is okay. You gonna be good. You're gonna be rich. No, nigga, listen, we live in a time where the Lord destroying this place. And so we're going to see some destruction, but guess what? The Lord said he's going to spare your life, but guess what? You're going to be for a prey. You're going to have to be on your P's and Q's. You're going to have to be watching your back. You're going to have to be on you. You're going to be watching out for yourself because this ain't an easy job. This ain't an easy life the Lord chose us for, but somebody got to do it. Jeremiah gave that to Baruch, and Baruch received it and did his job. How do we know? Because in the Apocrypha, there's a book of Baruch. Now we got to go to the book of Baruch. The Most High God. That was a good little segue, wasn't it? Y'all like how I pieced that together? You know what I'm saying? That was the Lord. That was the Lord. Get the Lord a hand once. Get the Lord a hand. You know what I'm saying? That was the Lord did that. That was the Lord right there. But let's go into the book of Baruch. And I just want to get one scripture in Baruch. I believe it might be in the first chapter, the 6th verse, or it might be actually the 3rd chapter. But let's get Baruch right quick. Okay. This is Baruch. Hold on. Let's get Baruch chapter 4, verse 4 through 6. Or 4 through 6, yeah. And this is important. As we remember this day, these words of Baruch were very important because Baruch's consoling the children of Israel was letting them know that even though things are bad now, they won't always be this way. Right. Jeremiah was the prophet that brought the prophecy of destruction and evil. Baruch was a prophet that brought hope. That there is a chance that just because it's horrible now, don't mean it'll always be this way. Baruch brought some kind of perspective to what we were going through. And when you read Jeremiah and you read Baruch, and then you understand that Baruch was with Jeremiah, studying under him while Jeremiah was prophesying against Israel, you'll understand why Baruch was so sad. Right. Baruch saw what happened to Israel, and it hurt him. He was broken by what he saw. Understanding that Baruch studied under Jeremiah, and he was a witness to Jeremiah prophesying Babylon, and then what happened in Egypt with the Syrians taking over, it'll help you understand Baruch a little bit more. Everybody understands? So here's Baruch chapter 4. We're going to start at verse 4. Come on, y'all, you got it.
The book of Baruch, chapter 4. It's like the book of Baruch in the Apocrypha, chapter 4, verse 4. O Israel, happy are we for things that are pleasing to God are made known unto us. Happy
are we for the things that are pleasing to God are made known unto us. Read.
Verse 5. But of good cheer, my people, the memorial of Israel.
Be of good cheer, my people, the memorial of Israel. What is the memorial of Israel? What is to be remembered about Israel?
The triumph.
No. Barack Obama.
The holy days.
Sis. Come on, Kapadazar.
A concept like how we is it like us disobeying him?
Okay. Sister Sabrina.
Struggles that we overcome.
No. One more try, Barack. Come on.
The memorial, like the history that we went through, to remember those things.
Okay, no. The answer is in verse 4. Happy are we, O Israel, happy are we for things that are pleasing to God are made known unto us. That's what we should be good cheer about. We should be happy that the Lord tells us the things that makes him happy. The Lord he shows us what things should be done to make him happy. He doesn't show anybody else. So when everybody else suffers, they don't have no answers for their suffering. We have answers for our suffering because God showed us what is pleasing to him. A tsunami hits Asia, kills 3,000 people. What solutions does anybody have for them? Hurricane, tornado hits the East Coast, floods all of the Jersey Shore and breaks down all them houses. Who has any words of wisdom for the Jersey Shore? Crack wipes out the black community. Who comes to tell black people why crack wiped them out? Right. The prophets of God come and say, you trusted the devil, the white man, and you burned incense to other gods. You see what crack did to us? We should never smoke crack ever again. Right. Brothers who are selling crack, what happens to them? They go to jail, they die. They get murdered in the streets. we should have nothing to do with crack at all because it is worshiping other gods. We should serve the Most High. We have answers for our problems. The Bible gives us the solution to black on black crime, gives us the solution to all the poverty in our community, gives us the solution to white injustice. You want to stop the injustice of the criminal of the judicial system in America? Stop being criminals, black people. Obey God. Guess what obeying God will have you do? You'll never commit any crime of white people ever.
Right.
Since I came to the truth, I don't do nothing that's illegal.
Right.
For what? I got God on my side. We have answers to all our problems. You want to stop abortion in the black community? Black men, stop having sex with sisters and throwing them away. If you don't think that you'll keep a woman in your life forever, then don't have sex with her. Simple. Black men, listen, no woman is to blame for getting pregnant. Straight up. Because there's a man with a penis who convinces her to have sex unprotected.
Right.
And if you're a man and you go to put on a condom and a woman says, nah, baby, I want to feel it raw. And you let her talk you out of wearing a condom, nigga, it's your fault.
Yeah, right.
You silly. That woman, she gonna get it anyway. You got to give it to her how you want to give it. You, Salaki. It's your fault, black man. Right. You put the penis in her and put the babies in her. She would have no baby if it wasn't for you. So you got child support and you got all these headaches. Well, guess what, brother? That's on you. You should have thought about this woman before you had raw sex with her. Because it would have took you half a second to just put on a condom. She ain't to blame. Surely she not to blame for having carried a baby for 9 months. I mean, she could have murdered the baby. She carried it for 9 months and brought the baby into living. Well, goddamn. If you're living in hell because of this woman, then maybe you shouldn't have chose her.
Right.
Or you should have been a better guy. I don't know what to tell you. But I'm not going to say she's evil for putting you on child support, but she ain't evil for having your baby. You chose her for that.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, women ain't blameless, but you did it to yourself.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. Everybody understands that, right? We should be of good cheer because we have solutions to our problems. The solution to brothers being on child support, don't get a bitch pregnant that's going to take you for child support. Put on a condom. Put on a condom. Right. The woman that was going to take you for child support never had your baby. Everybody understands that, right? Simple. All right. Continue reading. This is Baruch chapter 4, verse 6.
Baruch chapter 4, verse 6. And apocryphal. Ye were sold to the nations, not for your destruction.
We were sold to the nations. We've been suffering under these heathens and living under these other people, not for our destruction. God's intended purpose was never to destroy us. What was the purpose then? Read on.
But because you moved Yahweh to wrath, ye were delivered unto the enemy.
Everybody understand? Because we provoked the Most High to wrath, meaning because we sinned and disobeyed, we were delivered to our enemies. Right. Living in 2021 under the rule of our oppressor is a condition that we are in because we disobeyed God. If you hate your life in America and you hate what America stands for, then obey God. Because America only exists to punish you. America only exists to teach you a lesson. America only exists to show you that this is life when you don't obey God. If you hate this place and you want a better life and you want things different for yourself, for your children, for your people, then you should obey God. With that, with the Israelite School of UPK, shout out to 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Listen, y'all, it's the first night of the Feast of Hanukkah, man. Appreciate y'all for joining me for the class. Every night for about an hour, I'm going to go live, breaking down a different aspect of this celebration, but we're going to celebrate for the next 8 days. Once we X out of this, man, we're going to start the music up. We're going to eat this good food. We're going to drink these good drinks, and we're going to celebrate and thank the Most High for all that he's given us to be able to celebrate in 2021. And with that, shalom, Israel.